WHTM Sports.
Welcome to Indian Hill Braves basketball this Friday night against the Wyoming Cowboys as we get ready for the national anthem here at Indian Hill High School basketball court.
And Maury Allen. We live in a country like no other. We ask everyone.
Tonight's game is a conference matchup between the Wyoming Cowboys and the Indian Hill Braves. Both teams are 3-0 coming into this competition, so this will determine the first place in the conference. Let's play basketball, folks. This is Rob Young at Indian Hill High School, bringing you tonight's action against the Indian Hill Braves and the Wyoming Cowboys. Starting for the Braves tonight is Austin Schneider, Nick Heidel,
Gabby Froelich, Alexandra Hart, Katie Garrettson, Morgan Cordy, Sydney Parker.
Wyoming comes into the game tonight off a win against Taylor. It was a close game. It was 54-51 for a conference win and a 6-1 record. Their only loss of the season is against Purcell Marion, where they lost 63-56 last Saturday. And then they came off a big win against Baden, 35-33 on the 2nd of January. The Braves come into tonight's game with a record of 5-3. And coming off of some big wins this past week against Norwood.
Number 10, senior Hudson Rogers.
As Wyoming announces their starting lineup.
Junior Mason Rogers.
So Indian Hill comes into this game 5-2 on the season with their only 2 losses against Anderson and
now your Indian Hill Braves.
And against Boone County.
Please give it up for number 5, freshman Colin Shaw.
Colin Shaw, a freshman, is a true starter for this team and is leading is second on the team with points scored per game.
Sophomore Matteo Fiore.
Matteo Fiore comes into this game as number 11, as a strong number 3, playing great defense. Reed Eicholtz, the big man on the inside, a sophomore.
Number 13, senior Danny Harder.
And one of the 2 seniors on this team, Danny Harder.
And number 2, senior Austin Schneider.
And Austin Schneider, who leads this team defensively with steals and leads the team and the league with assists.
Remember, good sportsmanship is learned, practiced, and executed.
So the leading scorer for the Braves is junior Nick Heidel with 18.1 points per game. Colin Shaw is right behind him with 13 points a game. And then Daniel Harder with 6. Nick Heidel has made 49 points on 16 3-point shots on 49 attempts. And we have the opening tip-off with Daniel Harder in the center against number 5 for Wyoming, and the tip is won by the Braves, who quickly lose the ball. So Wyoming's student section has come out strong tonight. Colin Shaw is guarding number 4 for Wyoming. Austin Schneider out on number 12. Ball swung to the left side to number 12, who's looking for the inside pass to number 4, who dishes it down to number 14, to number 11 down in the corner, who brings it around and quickly comes into the center and takes it straight to the hoop and gets fouled. This foul is against number 13, Danny Harder. And he misses his first foul shot. So we're still with 7:31 left in the game at 0-0, second foul shot. Reed Eichholz with the block out. Wyoming goes up 1-0. Ball swung out to Colin Shaw. Down to Colin Shaw, I'm sorry. Out to Austin Schneider up at the top of the key. Swung to Mateo. Fiore brings it back up to the top. He's guarded closely. It's swung to Colin Shaw, who puts the 3 up, is missed, and quickly rebounded by Harder. And who's quickly called for over the back. That'll be the second foul on Daniel Harder. So the Braves are trailing in this game 1-0 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. As Wyoming brings the ball up, Colin Shaw is adding half-court pressure here. Swings the ball out to the right side into number 5. Swings it to the left. He quickly looks for great defense by the Braves, who swings it to number 11 against Mateo Fiore. And it's a quick steal by Nick Heidel, who quickly goes up and is fouled by number 11. So Nick, this is a highly contested game by these two, and usually gets very heated in the second half of the game. So Nick Heidel goes to the line for his first attempt at a free throw. And Heidel misses his first one. It's in and out. Eichholz and Shaw on the block for the Braves for the rebound. And we are tied up 1-1. Colin Shaw is picking up the half-court press. Ball swung out to number 10, back to number 4, who swings it to the right, dishes it to number 12, who's driving to the inside, quickly dishes it down to number 10 in the corner, to 5, who tries to drive the lane. Ball's quickly dished down to number 10 down in the corner, back out to number 12, who drives the lane and loses control of the ball. And Nick Heidel gets called for his first foul of the night. I'm sorry, it's on Austin Schneider. So inbounding it for the Cowboys. And number 11 gets called for a push by Wyoming. And that is his first foul. So Colin Shaw has been the surprise player of this squad this year as a true freshman, playing varsity and starting every game so far with 13 points, shooting a little bit over 50% from the three-point line. Austin Schneider at the top of the key, swings it to Mateo down on the left-hand side. Heidel swings around, Mateo still has the ball cut across to Austin Schneider on the right side. Looking for a quick dump down to Colin Shaw, who misses the basket. Wyoming brings the ball down quickly, and the Braves stop them up at the top of the key. Swung down to the right side. Number 10 out to number 11 to number 12. Austin Schneider playing defense. Colin Shaw gets picked by number 10 and quickly is picked up by Mateo. Mateo on number 11. Ball swung to the left side. Number 12 drives and shoots. Wyoming up 3-1. So Colin Shaw is bringing the ball up. Dishes it quickly off to the senior leader of this team, Austin Schneider, who leads the team in assists. and steals. Ball's out to Mateo for a three. It's in and out. Wyoming with the rebound, bringing up the ball quickly up the right side. Dish to number. And a great block by Mateo Fiore. And he's called for the foul. Coach Burge is not happy with that call, and the fans here are not happy. That was a great block by Mateo Fiore. Our ball, and that call wasn't even called by the official that was underneath the basket, but called by the official that was up at the top of the key. Wyoming's up 4-1. Wyoming goes up 5-1 with 4:52 left here in the first quarter. Austin Schneider with the ball coming up across the half court. Quickly dishes it to Fiore, who dishes it into Shaw, who dishes it back out to Fiore. Swung to Austin Schneider. Down to Colin Shaw, who quickly brings it in, dishes it to Schneider, to Fiore, who cuts into the lane and puts it up for the basket. 2 points for Fiore. Colin Shaw with the press at half court, and Wyoming loses the ball. It's great defense by Austin Schneider to cut the pass off. Coming into the game for the Braves is Josh Berger, another senior. Colin Shaw brings it up across half court, dishes it down to Austin Schneider, who brings it back around the lane. Dishing it to Shaw, who gets fouled on the court by number 12. That'll be his first foul. Austin Schneider with the ball out of bounds underneath the basket. Gives it to Nick Heidel, who brings it back up top to Schneider, around to Shaw. Back to Heidel. Heidel's looking for the three-point jumper, and he puts it up, and he puts it in. As the Braves go up 6-5 with 3:55 left in this game. Wyoming bringing it up across half court. Colin Shaw picking up the man at half court. As he drives, and the ball's blocked by Reed Eichholz. It'll be Wyoming's ball out of bounds underneath the basket. And nobody for the rebound for the Braves. Wyoming rebounds and puts the ball up. It's 7-6 Wyoming. Colin Shaw and Austin Schneider bringing the ball up across half court. Quickly dished to Heidel, who puts it up and misses. No rebound. Wyoming with the rebound. Austin Schneider with a steal. That's why he's leading the league with steals. And Colin Shaw's ball is in and out. As Colin Shaw drops back across half court, Wyoming number 12 bringing it up to the midcourt. Austin Schneider picks him up and he swings the ball to number 23, to number 10, to number 11. Inside to number 12, who quickly puts it up, and it's a rebound by Reed Eichholz. Colin Shaw up the left side with a quick jumper, and that ball is off the mark. Heidel with the rebound, that ball's off the mark. And the Braves continue to maintain the ball. Heidel up for another three, and he puts that one in. This game is now 9-7 the Braves, with 2:30 left in the first quarter. Wyoming brings it up across half court. Colin Shaw picks number 4 up at midcourt, swung to number 11 to 23 to 10, who dishes it inside to number 11, who goes up against Heidel and gets the basket. Heidel inbounds to Austin Schneider. Austin Schneider bringing the ball up to the midcourt. And this game is a 9-9 tied up game. Eichholz trying to go inside. Schneider resets it up at the top of the key. Swings it to number 25, Josh Berger. To Colin Shaw for a three-pointer, and it's a good. Braves go up 12-9. Wyoming bringing the ball up quickly. So the Braves are quickly putting points up on the board with 3 points. Nick Heidel has 2 3-pointers. Colin Shaw scores his first points of the night with a 3-pointer from outside the arc. Wyoming has the ball at midfield, dish to number 11 down the left side of the basket to number 11. Number 4 up at the top. Looks like Wyoming is trying to burn up a little bit of the clock. Number 4 goes inside, dishes out to number 23, who puts it up and hits a 3. It's a 12-12 game with 1 minute 8 seconds left in the first quarter. Colin Shaw bringing the ball up. Back to Austin Schneider, who brings it across half court. Dished into Heidel, who puts it up quickly, misses it. The ball is rebounded by Berger, knocked out of bounds by number 4. It'll be Braves ball. The Braves are definitely winning the offensive rebounding here in the first quarter. They just are not converting the rebounds into points. So it's Indian Hill's ball as Dawson Eichholz inbounds the ball to Colin Shaw. Colin Shaw is guarded by number 12, who quickly steals the ball from Shaw, and he gets 2 points. So a turnover on Colin Shaw. Quickly brings the ball up to dishes to Fiore, who dishes to Heidel. To number 5, Colin Shaw. Dishes it to Dawson Eichholz, who gets stopped at the paint, to Colin Shaw for a 3, who's off the mark, and Wyoming rebounds that ball. Number 11 pushing it up and misses the inbound pass out to number 12, who puts it up for 3 and is off the mark, rebounded by number 5, who goes up and is fouled quickly by Berger for his first foul. And Wyoming goes up 15-12. Down in the block for the Braves is Josh Berg and Dawson Eichholz. 16-12 with 3 seconds left in this first quarter. Heidel puts the ball up and is off the mark. So at the end of 1, it's Wyoming 16, the Braves 12. Leading scoring for the Braves is number 3, Nick Heidel with 7. Number 11, Mateo Fiore with 2. Number 5, Colin Shaw with 3.
The Indian Hill Television Network would not have been possible without the support of the following contributors: Buskin Bakery, Steve Ginn, the Indian Hill Boosters, PTO, and Maintenance Department, and the ICRC.
Well, folks, here we start at the beginning of the second quarter of the Wyoming Cowboys versus the Indian Hill Braves. It's 16-12 Wyoming. Leading scoring for Wyoming is number 23, Garen Prater. Wyoming with the ball to start the second quarter. Quickly throws it away. It'll be a Braves ball out of bounds. So Austin Schneider will be inbounding it to Colin Shaw, who brings it up the court for the Braves. Colin Shaw is picked up at the midcourt by number 12, Lonnie Grasson. Swung to Colin Shaw, back to Austin Schneider. Austin Schneider shoots it for 3, and the ball's off the mark. And quickly, number 11 for Wyoming is called for his second foul. That's Mason Rogers, who's playing guard. So it'll be Indian Hill ball out of bounds underneath the basket. Austin Schneider bringing the ball in. No, Nick Heidel bringing the ball in for the Braves. Quickly into Austin Schneider, who puts it up, and it misses the shot. And that ball is going to be Indian Hill's ball again. Well, the Braves are having a little bit of trouble converting on inbound passes and also converting on second point opportunities. This time it's to Reed Eichholz, who puts it up, and we're to a 14-16 game now with 7:23 left. Wyoming, number 4, brings the ball up the field. That's Jake Edmonds, who swings it to number 23, Garen Prater, to number 10, Hudson Rogers. Number 4 with the ball, Jake Edmonds up at the top, swings it to number 10. Swings it to number 5, to number 4 down on the right side of the basket. Back out to number 12, back down to number 10 on the left side, who swings it out to number 4 as the Braves are playing tight defense here. Not giving anything on the inside. And quickly, Nick Heidel. Wyoming's called for a clear-out foul. That foul's against Hudson Rogers. That will be his first foul. Austin Schneider brings it across half court. Set the offense up. Gives the ball to Colin Shaw, and it's a push on number 12. Lonnie Grasson. That will be his second foul. Wyoming quickly getting into next one. Will put the Braves in the bonus situation. Indian Hill has 2 fouls to give, and Heidel with a 3-pointer, and it's off the mark. And Shaw with the follow through and rebound. And the ball is awarded out of bounds to Wyoming. A great second effort by Colin Shaw, but again, we just can't complete our second point attempts. So number 21's in the game for Nate Lowe. Bringing the ball up is number 4, Jake Edmonds, who's picked up at the midcourt by Colin Shaw. Swings it out to the right side, and quickly Dawson Eichholz gets the steal. Austin Schneider brings it up, dishes it to Colin Shaw, who swings it back to Austin, to Dawson Eichholz, to Colin Shaw, back to Eichholz. As the Braves are trying to get some movement on their offense, back out to Austin Schneider, who sets it up at the top. Austin Schneider swings it to Colin Shaw on the left-hand side of the basket. He brings it back out to Nick Heidel, who quickly tries to drive the lane and puts the ball up, but misses the shot. And the ball is rebounded by 2 players, Reed Eichholz and number 21, Nate Lowe. As Braves bring in Matteo Fiore. And Daniel Harder comes back into the game. So Austin Schneider will be inbounding this ball. Fiore at the block, quickly into Hayter, who dumps it back out to Fiore, who dumps it to Austin Schneider down in the right-hand corner, who brings it back out to Colin Shaw, who dishes it back to Schneider at the top of the key. To Fiore, to Harder, Hayter, to Shaw, who quickly drives, spins, puts the ball up, and misses. Rebounded by Wyoming, number 21, who quickly tries to drive the lane and is stopped quickly. And again, it's a turnover, but knocked out of bounds by the Braves. So it'll be Wyoming's ball underneath their own basket. And Wyoming quickly calls a timeout. So with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, it is a 16-14 game. The Wyoming Cowboys lead the Braves. The next foul on Wyoming will put the Braves in the bonus situation. The Braves have 2 fouls to give here in this half. So let's see how the coaches both use their fouls and use their timeouts. So Wyoming would get this ball back underneath their own basket as they prepare to bring the ball in. Wyoming had an upset win against Baden the other day, who is a very good Division II team. And that ball's inbounded to number 23, Karen Prater, who dishes it to number 21, who quickly gives it back to 23 in the lane, who's quickly stripped. And a foul is called on number 13, Daniel Harder. Prater will be at the line shooting for Wyoming. I'm sorry, that would be number 23, Prater at the line shooting. And that is Harder, Daniel's third foul of the game. So he's quickly replaced. By Josh Barger. And it's a 16-14 game still. 17-14 game, Wyoming, as Mateo Fiore brings the ball up across half court, quickly driving the lane and going up for the jumper, and it's off. And that ball's off Colin Shaw's hand and goes out of bounds. It'll be Wyoming's ball out of bounds. As the Braves start their full court press. Number 4 brings it up out to the right-hand side, swings it back up to top to number 23. Back to number 4 at the top of the key. Mateo Fiore with the defense. Nick Heidel on number 23 as he brings it around to the right side, dishes it to number 4, who quickly gets stopped by Heidel, who gets called for the block. So that'll be Nick Heidel's first foul. And the 6th foul on the Braves as Austin Schneider comes back in the game. That appeared to be a floor foul to me, but they awarded a... I'm sorry, it was a floor foul, and it's a one-on-one. The Braves were in the bonus situation. So number 3 with 7 points in the game. Karen Prater. It's 18-14, Wyoming with 4:20 left in the half. Heidel tries to drive the lane, is stripped of the ball by number 21, who quickly drives the lane and gets the basket. The Braves bring it up quickly, dish the ball off into the lane, and they can't complete it, and the ball goes off of Wyoming. It'll be the Braves' ball. Well, the Braves are making some unnecessary turnovers on passes, and they are not completing their shots. Mateo dishes it back to Schneider with a great dish and an assist, with Schneider with 2 points as the Braves bring the full court press. Austin Schneider on number 4, giving him trouble as he loses it. And quickly Wyoming calls a timeout. Coach Birch wasn't happy with that call. Austin Schneider had forced number 4 to take that ball back over the half-court line, but the officials did not call it an over and back. So Wyoming will have the ball at half-court to bring the ball in. They'll be bringing it in on the left side of the court here, the closest side to us. And it's a 16-20 game with Wyoming leading the way. Leading scoring for Wyoming is number 23, Karen Prater. So Wyoming inbounds it to the left-hand side down on the block, and it's quickly stripped by Fiore, who dishes it to Schneider, who dishes it inside to Eichholz, who quickly goes inside and misses the ball. So the Braves are not completing their baskets. Their shooting percentage is very low from the floor. Schneider is playing great defense for him, and so is Fiore. Heidel has had a great defensive game, but the Braves have failed to convert those defensive plays into points. Heidel on number 23. Eichholz out on top on number 10. Number 10's looking for somewhere to go. Great defense. Shaw on number 5. 5 dishes it back to number 10 to number 4 on the right side against Austin Schneider. Swings it to number 21. Swings it down inside to number 3. And Heidel draws the foul. So that'd be Heidel's second foul of the game. And the 8th foul on the Braves as number 23 goes to the line for Wyoming, Garen Prater. It's a 21-16 game as the Braves bring Dawson Eichholz in for Heidel. 2:53 left here in the half. Rebound by Eichholz. Schneider brings the ball up quickly, dishes to Fiore, who puts up a 3 and is off his mark. Eichholz with the rebound, who puts it up and gets the 2. So it's clear that if they can work that ball inside Eichholz, and Eichholz is definitely out-rebounding his Wyoming opponent. Number 4 dishes number 5 down in the corner, who quickly drives the lane. Eichholz with the great defense. It can't be a jump ball with a guy laying on top of you, but they do call it a jump ball. The ball is being awarded to Wyoming's possession. So Wyoming will have the ball underneath their own basket. The Braves have played great defense with a block shot on that, a steal, and then they lose it on a jump ball. Fiore on the top against Prater to number 10, who's out at the three-point line, who dumps it to number 4, who dumps it inside to number 5, who's trying to drive the lane, quickly dishes it back out to 23, who gets the jumper from the three-point and crosses the line before he releases the ball. It'll be a 2-point shot. It's 23-18 Wyoming. Schneider with the ball at the top of the key to Shaw on the right side. Back to Eichholz at the top, down to Reed Eichholz underneath. Out to Fiore, to Shaw, who drives, dishes it out to Schneider, who dumps it to Eichholz, who goes up for a 3 and hits it. So we are quickly a 21-23 game with 1:32 left as Wyoming brings the ball up. Number 5 on the right side. So Dawson Eichholz adds a 3-point basket to his night. Shaw out top against number 23, Garen Prater. With a minute 07 left. And Wyoming's got the count. Ball's down on the left. Cross court to the left side. 5 drives, dishes it out to 21, who's looking to, and Fiore gets another steal, who dishes to, quick turnover by the Braves. And it's Eichholz one on. So it's a great defensive effort that gets turned over quickly on the break. And Fiore gives the ball to Schneider at the top of the key. It's down to Eichholz, to Schneider. To Eichholz, to Schneider. To Shaw. To Schneider. Looks like the Braves are looking for the last basket of the half. It's 21-25. 15 seconds left in the half. Schneider with the ball. To Fiore, who drives back out to Schneider, who sets a pick. To Eichholz, who's up and misses and quickly goes up. And this half will end 21 Braves, 25 Cowboys. So in the first half, we have the Braves down by 4 points in a very tight CHL matchup, looking to establish who is the dominant team here in the CHL. They are the only 2 teams that are undefeated in league play. And it appears that the Braves will go into the third quarter with only 1 player in foul trouble, and Wyoming has 2 players in foul trouble. So we'll see you in the second half here at the Braves Gymnasium.
It's Braves Beat.
Good morning and Happy New Year, Indian Hill. I'm Lauren Vanatsky.
And I'm CJ Allen. Welcome back for another action-packed, amazing year of school and fun.
Let's kick off the new year with some news about sports. Currently undefeated in the CHL, the Indian Hill men of basketball have dominated several teams over break in and outside of this tri-state area. The team is led by captains Daniel Harder and Josh Berger, along with leading scorer Nick Heidel. The Braves will look to continue their fire streak as they play Wyoming on Yacht Club Friday.
This past Saturday, the Aqua Braves brought shame to Madeira as the girls won every individual and relay event. The boys pulled out a win in the 400 free relay, and Sam Vester dominated the 50 free. This Saturday, the Aqua Braves will face Carroll, Versailles, and Xenia in Dayton as they prepare for the largest high school swim meet in the nation.
Welcome to the year 2015. Let's check in with Mark Toller as he investigates the hopes and dreams for the school's New Year resolution.
New Year's resolution. What is it?
To get better grades.
Wrong.
Cut out Mountain Dew.
Dawson Eicholtz, my son. New Year's resolution.
Be a better son.
The best one yet.
I'm resolving not to have a New Year's resolution.
That's great! Raymond, congratulations on coming to school for more than 20 minutes. New Year's resolution.
Less avocados.
Coach Arcuri.
Yes, sir.
New Year's resolution.
Actually, I have a couple that they're all fitness related too. But one of them is to be able to wear Nike compression pants and a Nike compression shirt in public and not feel like self-conscious.
Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Hall. New Year's resolution.
I resolve to stay on my children even more than I already have, so they can get all A's and go to college.
Education is priceless.
Always college!
Thanks, Mark. Hey, CJ, what's your New Year's resolution?
Well, Alex, Lauren, you know, I just really want to hashtag be better this year.
Well, you know what else is better this year, CJ? Twitter. Sean Oakman, 6'9", 275. No one can stand down to him. However, when he asked Dr. Miles for a snow day instead of a 120-minute delay in Brooks Renfro's tweet, Dr. Miles shut him down by taking away 30 minutes. I'd take Dr. Miles over Sean Oakman any day.
Sean Oakman might be pretty intimidating, but what about second semester senior Mark Masali? Only 5 days into the semester, and he is already breaking all of the rules. His mother can't even tell him when to go to bed. Over the break, CJ Chin visited his roots. Let's check it out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm CJ. We're here for a little tour in Chinatown.
Oh, it's so fishy. Joy! Oh, it smells so bad.
Every time I burp, I taste death. How are you? Can I have, It's because I'm half white.
It's a golden dragon. Get one for me. Get one for my brother. And then we'll get one for little Dora.
I'm home.
Bruh.
Thanks, CJ. Looked like a blast.
Before we go, we'd like to thank our artists, Me and Me.
Those are both by Reese Bollinger.
Come on.
It looks great, Reese.
We'd also like to remind you to like our Braves Beat Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and email us with any school updates.
Be sure to come out to the home game tonight at 7:30 against the Wyoming Cowboys. It's a big game, so be sure to show your support in your Yacht Club Friday attire and support your Braves as they fight for the coveted CHL title.
Have a wonderful weekend, Braves.
And as always, stay classy, Indian Hill. Hi, I'm Lauren Vanatsky, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Get
We're back here at the Indian Hill High School gymnasium where the Indian Hill Braves trail the Wyoming Cowboys 21-25. In the booth with me for the second half is Dr. Miles as a guest commentator. Dr. Miles, the Braves have had a great start to the season. They're a young team and have done a great job. You have put a lot of emphasis on being great academically, but also great athletically with great new facilities. We see the new fans in here, the new sound system. We know that they're putting in air conditioning, which is going to be a great benefit. What else is in store for the Braves athletic department here in the next year or two?
Well, as you look outside, you can see the new softball and baseball fields that we have, we're almost completed with, and I'm looking forward to that great season. We continue to plan, looking at our auxiliary facilities master plan. We have redone the synthetic turf at Tomahawk and Shawnee. And so there's nothing but good things in the future. So we'll continue to look at that plan and look ahead to the future as well. Potential field house out by the softball and baseball fields. We have some preliminary plans there as well.
Well, the Braves start the second half with the ball. Austin Schneider up top to Colin Shaw with a three-point shot, and it's off the mark. Reed Eichholz with the rebound, but it's out of bounds on Mateo Fiore. So Wyoming will start underneath their own basket, bringing the ball up as Fiore brings the full court press. Fiore on number 4. Quickly dishes it to number 12 for Wyoming, who is Lonnie Grayson. Number 11 to number 4. Out to the top to number 5 to number 11. Who drives the lane, spins, and is up, and is going to be called for a jump ball. Well, Coach Birch isn't happy with that call. That should have been a traveling call, but they award it to Wyoming on a jump ball, who quickly puts it inside, and Colin Shaw gets a block, who gets another block, and rebounds the ball. Ball's out top to him. Dr. Miles, thanks for coming on the air with us. We look forward to seeing you. Come join us anytime.
Sounds fantastic. I'd love to be a guest host again. Ask me anything, anytime. All right.
Joining me on air is Mark Toller. Mark, welcome to the second half of the Braves. As you can see, the Braves are down 21-25. First half story is the Braves are not converting on great rebounding, great second chance opportunities. We're just not converting. Our shot percentage is probably somewhere down around 40%.
And what can you tell me about the player performances tonight? Any standouts?
It's really been a team effort. Heidel obviously is leading the team with 7 points. Colin Shaw has several points as well. Austin Schneider has done a great job. He's got a couple steals, as well as Heidel has a couple steals. Mateo has a steal. It's really been a defensive game. Wyoming has done a better job on their shot percentage and shot selection. The Braves have really just kind of, as you can see, drive the lane, and that's kind of been the story of the game. They don't convert offensively, and Nick Heidel draws the charge. As it heats up here a little bit. And Nick Heidel must have said something after that play, after number 5 charged him and rolled across the top of him.
Yeah, Nick Heidel is known for being a little passionate in the game, and sometimes passion can get you a nice little penalty sometimes, so you got to learn how to control it in this environment.
So Nick Heidel gets charged with a technical, putting Wyoming on the line when it should have been a charge. Foul on number 5, who did pick up the foul. And luckily Wyoming does not convert. So we know this is always a heated game. Wyoming's coming into this game off a great win against Baden. They had a close loss to Purcell, and they had a very, very close win against Taylor. It was a 3-point game.
Yes, this is the battle for the CHL title right now, and this game will definitely decide who's going to jump up in those rankings.
Number 5 with the shot, and it's off the mark and rebounded by Austin Schneider. So the real story of this game has been Indian Hill has out-rebounded both defensively and offensively on Wyoming, but they can't convert it into points. This game probably should be somewhere in the range of about 40 points for Indian Hill if they just converted 50%, Mark.
Well, yes, we've seen that in the past couple of games, and that's been one of their main struggles is converting on offense. They make great defensive plays, but they can never make good on their efforts.
That's a push on number 12. It'll be his third foul. Out top to Nikaido, who shoots for a three and misses again. This time going up, and it's number 10 over the back on Eichholz. I believe that's Rogers' second foul. Ball out to Eichholz. The top swung to the left to Heidel. Up top to Schneider, down to Eichholz. Colin Shaw to Eichholz. Back to Shaw. Shaw swinging it to the right, quickly dishes it back to Eichholz, back to Schneider, down to Eichholz, out to Schneider, across to Shaw, up for the three is Colin Shaw, who hits the three. And we are down to a two-point game. It's the Braves 24-26 as Shaw puts up his second three-pointer of the night and his sixth point of the game. Out to number 10. To number 11 on the left side, out to number 23, guarded by Austin Schneider. Down to number 4, guarded by out to number 23, who drives the lane and quickly stripped by Shaw. As Schneider brings it up, dishes it to Heidel, who puts it up. And it's a tied game, 26-26. Wyoming bringing the ball up as Shaw brings the pressure at half court. Dished inside, and that should be a charge. Schneider with the rebound, even after drawing a charge. Down to Eichholz for the three. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Wyoming. Wyoming to number 11, who brings it up the court. Who's looking to drive the lane and is quickly stripped of the ball by Eichholz. So quickly, Wyoming makes 2 turnovers here. The Braves have an opportunity to go up here in this game as Schneider brings the ball up the court, drives the lane, dishes it to Eichholz, who puts it up and misses. Shaw with the follow through. So Shaw goes up with 8 points. Shaw bringing the full court press on number 4 as Wyoming quickly calls a timeout. So Wyoming calls a timeout here because this momentum has definitely switched to the Braves. Well, Mark, we're having a little audio technical difficulty here. I'm having a hard time hearing you, but the Braves, if they can start converting here, can pull this game away very quickly because they definitely have the momentum on the offensive side. They have the defensive side. Wyoming's made 2 critical turnovers. The Braves have tied this ball game up 28, have gone ahead 2 points, 28-26, with 3:27 left in the third quarter. Wyoming brings the ball up. Nick Heidel brings the press. 12 up with the shot, and it's off the mark. Heidel with the rebound, who's pushing the ball up the court. He's looking for his outlet pass, and he sets it up to Shaw, who drives the lane, dishes it out to Eichholz, who drives inside, dishes to Fiore, who puts the ball up, and it's off the mark. And Eichholz draws an over-the-back foul on number 5. Number 5 gets called with the push. Number 5 gets called with a technical. So it's going to be the Braves at the line, and they'll put Nick Heidel at the line. As number 5 picks up his second and third foul very quickly. So the Braves have definitely brought the momentum here in the second half, as Heidel makes it a 29-26 game. The Braves will retain the ball here as they bring it out at half court. So Fiore in the back court brings it up past half court, swings it out to Heidel, who gets a pick and puts it up for a 2-point shot. So it's 32-26. So Nick Heidel has gone from being cold to hot here in the second half and quickly gets his 13th point of the game. As Shaw gets a turnover again on Wyoming, who turns it over quickly again. Heidel up the left side, dishes it to Eichholz, who brings it down to the left side to Fiore, who dishes it out to Eichholz, down to Shaw, who puts up a 3 and hits a big 3. That's 35-26 as Shaw puts up his 11th point of the night. Wyoming's going to have to call a timeout here quickly to stop this momentum because they are definitely out of sorts here. Shaw, Eichholz with the defense, in and out, Fiore with the rebound. Colin Shaw, who brings the ball up to half court, and it's off the Wyoming player. It'll be Braves ball out of bounds. So Schneider's coming back in for Dawson Eichholz. So Mark, Wyoming is definitely not they're way out of sorts here in the second half. You got to think that Wyoming's coach is going to have to call a timeout here if the Braves put up another 3-pointer. So Austin Schneider at the top of the key, setting up the offense, drives it in, gives it to Shaw, who puts it up for 2. It's a 37-26 point game as the Braves are outscoring Wyoming, who drives the lane. And Shaw gets called. No, I'm sorry. Fiore gets called for a foul. His first foul as Wyoming gets the ball underneath their own basket. Coming in for Shaw is Daniel Hayter, who's the only Brave in foul trouble right now with 3. And the Braves again get another turnover on Wyoming as the Braves bring the ball back up. So it's a 37-26 game. Ball's on the right side to Fiore, who spins, dishes it out to Reed Eichholz, who gives it back to Schneider. Down to Hayter, who gives it back to Schneider. Off to Fiore. Fiore with the 3-point jumper, and it's off the mark. Wyoming with the rebound. As Wyoming drives down the court, bringing it up quickly. Number 4 going inside. And number 4 makes a nice drive to the lane and scores. So it's a 37-28 game with 58 seconds left as Hayter inbounds it. Schneider bringing the ball up the floor as he's guarded by number 4. Drives, dishes it to Eichholz, who gives it back, drives the lane, and draws a block and the basket, so it's going to be an and one for Eichholz as the Braves go up 39-28. So Mark, I think you're good luck for this team as you show up for the second half. The momentum swings, and the Braves don't look like the same team they did in the first half. They're converting on turnovers. They're making second chance shots, and they're hitting from the free throw line.
Well, it certainly would seem that way. This Wyoming
So Josh Berger comes in for Eichholz as he makes the and one, and it's a 12-point game as Wyoming inbounds, and the Braves bring the full court press as Wyoming keeps driving and dishes the ball to the left side. Number 4 up for a three-pointer, and he hits. It's a 9-point game. Braves with the ball, quickly getting it down the field to Hader, and it's a turnover on the Braves. 27 seconds, it's 31-40, a 9-point game's Braves favor as they've led the entire way this third quarter. Wyoming bringing the ball up, across half court, Schneider picks number 12 up. It's dished to number 11, who's guarded by Dawson Eichholz, who dishes number 3, who Hader tried to pick the ball from. And he gets the roll. So it's a 7-point game. The Braves are... Austin Schneider quickly calls a timeout. Well, Mark, the one thing I noticed is they're not calling moving picks tonight. Wyoming has set 3 or 4 picks in the second half that have definitely been moving, and it's allowed their 2 shooters to get free and bring it inside. So the Braves have a little over a second here to try to bring it to a 42-33 game. It's going to be a quick inbounds and a shot quickly.
More possessions, they very well can do that.
And the quarter ends with the Braves up 40-33. So the third quarter definitely belongs to the Braves as they quickly go up. Wyoming has 6 fouls. Braves have 1 foul. So the next foul, the Braves are in the bonus situation. That's a great way to start the fourth quarter. Wyoming foul trouble is number 12. The only person in foul trouble for the Braves is number 13. I believe number 11 for Wyoming, Mason Rogers, who we haven't seen a lot of, has also got 3 fouls for Wyoming. So, Mark, what's going to be the key for the Braves to win this game? Because, you know, Wyoming came into this probably the favorite. Both these teams are young. You know, this is going to be a great rivalry going into the future for the next 4 years. Both programs have great middle school programs. Both programs have great feeder programs coming out of the rec programs. So both these coaches, both Coach Birch and the Wyoming coach, have done a great job of bringing their basketball program all the way down into the 3rd grade. And Indian Hill is starting to see Coach Birch see some of the fruit of his labor with his younger players in Colin Shaw, Nick Heidel being a junior, Austin Schneider is a senior.
Well, I think the key for this Braves team is going to have to be to keep playing as you have been, keep playing with intensity. Don't start to play conservative ball right here. You are only up by 7 points. If you let it slip, then this Wyoming team is hot. They can get back into this game.
Ball swung down to Fiore on the left side, out to Heidel, who's looking to put it inside to Eichholz, out to Austin Schneider up top to Shaw. Draws a pick and drives it down low, off to Eichholz up high, to Heidel up high. To Fiore, who's driving lane, puts it up and gets the ball, but gets called for the charge. So that'll be Fiore's 3rd foul. Braves' 2nd foul of the half. I'm sorry, second foul. Wyoming brings the ball up. That's I like seeing the aggressiveness by Fiore, bringing it inside, and Wyoming travels and turns the ball over again.
Costly mistakes for this Wyoming offense.
So when you look at both these squads, Wyoming has 4 seniors on the squad, most who have not seen a lot of playing time. Rebound by Wyoming. Quick pick by Austin Schneider, picked up by Wyoming. Out to 23 for a three-pointer, and he hits it. So quickly this game goes to a 6-point game. And Coach Burke quickly calls a timeout.
I think that's a wise decision right here. Seems that Wyoming is really, not laid down in this one. They know that they can get back into it, and right now they are within striking distance.
Yeah, so the fun part about this, Mark, is on Indian Hillside, you got Austin Schneider, the senior leadership. Great defensively. He's leading the league in steals. He's leading in assists. So he's on 2 key categories for the Braves. He doesn't lead in scoring. Nick Heidel's second in the league in scoring. So we've got our scoring. Colin Shaw's up in the top 10 in scoring. So the Braves, with a young squad, are very quickly making a name for themselves in the league. But Wyoming, it needs to be noted, is also playing with a very young squad. A lot of 10th graders on this Wyoming squad.
Something I really like about this Braves team is that each player has his own specialty, and when those specialties come together, it really forms a great bond and a great weapon for this offense and their defense.
So we've got a turnover by Indian Hill. And it's a block shot by Heidel, but it's a follow through by Wyoming as this becomes a 2-point game. So the Braves come off that timeout, making a costly turnover. And the Wyoming fans are Heidel with the ball. He's looking to drive to Colin Shaw on the right side, out to Fiore at the top of the key. Dawson Schneider on the right side, who brings it back to the left side in the center of the court, off to Heidel up at the top of the key on the left side. Eichholz with a pick, quickly rolling, and it's a turnover by Heidel. Dawson Schneider with another steal. And Schneider just gets called for a technical. The officials are trying to take control of this game. So Austin Schneider gets called for a technical for kind of following through with the momentum that he had off of an attempted steal. That he got called for the foul. And Wyoming makes this a 1-point game. So the momentum in this game has gone to Wyoming in the 4th quarter.
Absolutely. We saw a 14-point deficit earlier in the 3rd period, and now with this being a tie ball game, Wyoming has taken a serious step towards possibly pulling this one out.
They're a well-coached program who play to win.
Absolutely. 2 very similar schools and 2 very similar athletic programs.
Jump ball. This ball will go to Wyoming as Reed Eichel gets another block. So Wyoming will bring the ball from the out of bounds. Jake Edmonds inbounding for Wyoming, and it's out top to number 23, who's been very hot, who quickly puts it up. Number 4 with the final rebound. Number 23 has lost his shoe. Technically, I think he's not allowed to stay on the court. So we get an official timeout here for number 23 to get his shoe back. So we've got a good shouting match going on between the Wyoming student section and the Indian Hill student section.
Yes, I'm pretty impressed by the turnout by Wyoming, even though we have our own student section showing in full force today. The fact that so many students from there would travel so far to see this game is Really, it really says something about their school.
Reed Eichholz gets called for the foul. That'll be his first foul. And putting Wyoming on the line. As number 12 misses his first shot. And Wyoming goes up by one with 4:36 left here in the game. Austin Schneider bringing the ball up. Out to Nick Heidel, who's up and puts it in and gets a three-pointer. So Indian Hill's back up by 2.
Yep, you can't ask for a better game right now. 4 minutes left in the fourth period, and you've got a 43-41 ball game. It is tight, ladies and gentlemen.
Wyoming with the ball up at the top of the key on the right side. Number 11 dribbling the ball, dishing it to number 12 at the top of the key, who gets a pick from number 23, and he puts it up, and it's rebounded by Wyoming, who drives and misses the shot. Rebound by Colin Shaw, who dishes to Eichholz, who gives it. The Indian Hills ball as Wyoming throws it away.
Yeah, that was almost a costly mistake by Reed Eichholz, missing the pass there, but they're able to recover with another mistake by Wyoming.
Inbounded by Schneider to Colin Shaw. Off to Schneider, who sets the offense up. As he drives the lane all the way through, up to the top, dishes it to Shaw, who swings it to Fiore, who puts the ball up and is off the mark. The ball is rebounded by Wyoming. Wyoming with the ball, top of the key, off to the left-hand side. Number 4 up for the shot with a three-pointer. So it's a 1-point game, 44-43. Wyoming, 3 minutes left in this game. As Wyoming brings the full court press. Shaw clears it out to Fiore, who brings it to Austin Schneider, who brings it to Heidel, who goes up again for a 3. So it's a 2-point game, Indian Hill. As Indian Hill brings a full court, and Fiore is going to pick up his Fiore picks up his 4th foul of the game, putting Wyoming on the line for a one-on-one opportunity. So number 4 at the line, it's 46-44 the Braves with 2:48 left. And number 4 misses it. Heidel with the rebound as the Braves bring it up the court. Well, Mark, I think the Braves still have to be aggressive here. They cannot allow time to be on Wyoming's side here.
Absolutely. Both these teams have to play aggressive in this kind of ball game. Although you can't play too aggressive. What we've seen through the mainstay of this game is that both teams are making a lot of mistakes, giving up a lot of points on free throws because of it.
Eichholz over to Shaw, who dishes it back out to Eichholz. I'm sorry, to Heidel. Heidel with the ball, taking it back up top. And it's going to be a turnover on Heidel with a clear out. Birch is not happy with that call because that call came from the backcourt by the far side official, who definitely did not have position to be making that call, with the official standing right in front of the play, not making a call. Number 12 up. It's a tied game with a minute 45 left. Colin Shaw brings the ball up. This is going to come down to turnovers, Mark. Who can control the ball, convert on their possession,
Looks like the Braves are trying to run a little clock off here. That may or may not be to their advantage later on.
And it's a steal by number 12, who quickly gets tied up by number number 5, Colin Shaw. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it's Colin Shaw's ball. So the Braves maintain possession, and the Braves quickly call a timeout with 1:18 left. So, Mark, if you're Coach Birch, what do you call here?
Here, I say that you call a very aggressive offense. Make sure that you at least get some points on this possession, and then you got to play equally aggressive defense. Like you said earlier, this game is going to come down to one key turnover.
And both teams are being coached to play aggressively defensively. They both are. Well, Wyoming on the next foul by Wyoming, Braves will be in a one-on-one situation. Braves are already in the bonus, so foul shots are equal at this point of the game. The only Brave with serious foul trouble is number 11, Mateo Fiore, and number 2, Austin Schneider, with 3 fouls when he picked up that technical. So I think what we're going to see here is I think you're going to see the Braves probably try to eat up about 18 seconds, try to get the ball inside, get the quick 2 points, play full court press. Trying to cause Wyoming not to score and then bring the ball back up and probably try to end the game with a 2-point game. Colin Shaw with the ball out to Austin Schneider. Schneider with the ball, quickly dumps it down to Shaw, who puts the ball up. 4-3. So it's a 3-point game. The Braves drop back quickly into defense. Austin Schneider picks up number 12, who's picked. Number 12 with the shot. It's off the mark.
And that is a key rebound by Mateo Fiore, unless it will be turned over.
It's going to be Braves ball. It's going to be Braves ball. That's a great rebound effort by Fiore, who got slammed by the Wyoming player. It should have been a foul on Wyoming, putting the Braves at the line. Wyoming's going to bring the full court press. Coach Birch calling for the diamond. It's inbounded to Fiore, who brings it up the court, quickly dishing it back to Schneider, who's come across half court. Heichel's out top who's quickly fouled.
Well, if they can get at least 1 point off of this foul shot, then that'll really put them in a good position to win this game.
So this is a one-on-one situation. The Braves are playing back on defense as opposed to lining up on the... .33 seconds left. Eichel's at the foul line with a one-on-one opportunity here. And he misses the first. Wyoming rebounds it. So we're still a 3-point game. Wyoming's got to quickly get a score here as they swing it out to the top to number 23. They're going to be looking for number 23 or number 4 to make a 3-point shot here. It's out to 23, who quickly puts it up and sinks the ball. So it's a tie game with 14 seconds left. The Braves are going to go for the last second. Heil's looking for the last shot. Wyoming with the ball and a quick shot. So, Mark, after 4, we're tied up 49-49.
And now we will be going into overtime.
So, looking at overtime, one of the things that we have to be concerned of, one of our best defenders, Mateo Fiore, has 4 fouls. Austin Schneider has 3, so he's going to have to be careful. Wyoming has a couple guys with 3 fouls apiece. So Indian Hill has 2 key defensive players that are going to have to watch how they play defense. They're going to have to play aggressively to get the ball back, to hopefully put some space between them and Wyoming. It's a 4-minute overtime. And this game has proven to be the game that everybody thought it was going to be, a close game.
Yeah, I think even though Wyoming was favored by a couple points, no one really knew how to call this game, and I think the overtime just shows that.
Whoever wins this game comes out as the league favorite. They'll be 4-0. The loser will be 3-1 in league play. Wyoming has one loss against Purcell Marion. Braves have two losses, one against Boone County, the other against Anderson early in the season. Nick Heidel will take the tip against number 23 for Wyoming, Garen Prater. And Wyoming wins the tip. It's going to be Braves ball as they win the jump ball. Well, Coach Birch can't be happy with this call. That was clearly a jump ball. Wyoming calls a timeout, even though they don't have control or possession. It's clearly two players with control of that ball. It should be Braves ball, but it's going to be Wyoming's ball underneath their own basket.
Yeah, many of the calls or missed calls this game has seemed very questionable, to say the least.
So we've had a little over 22 seconds tick off the clock so far. It's still a 49-49 game. Possession arrows in favor of the Braves. And the Braves have in the lineup right now Heidel, Fiore, Schneider, Shaw, and Eichholz.
And after the scrum, the Braves will end up with the possession.
So Austin Schneider's going to inbound it to Colin Shaw as Wyoming brings a soft full court press. Shaw brings it across half court. Balls to Eichholz on the right side, back out to Heidel on the top, down to Fiore on the right side, who tries to cut it in, and it's a turnover as number 12 comes down the court and puts it up and draws. Basket counts. Foul's going to be on Colin Shaw. It'll be his second foul. Well, I got to say some of the calls here, Mark, have been very questionable. That's one that, both guys are going up. It's kind of a follow-through, inadvertent contact. If the officials want to give this game to Wyoming, they sure are making a statement here in the early part of this overtime.
Yeah, and we understand that there's going to be tough calls in every game, but typically what we see out of the refs is if there's one call that could go either way, then they'll alternate which side gets it. But these calls have definitely swayed in favor of Wyoming this game.
Eichholz tries to drive and loses the ball to number 11 as Wyoming brings it up quickly on a fast break. Wyoming misses the ball. Schneider with the rebound up to Heidel, to Eichholz, who's out of the paint, up to Austin Schneider, down to Fiore. Fiore goes up and is blocked. So it's going to be another turnover on the Braves. It's coming down to turnovers, Mark, on this game. Now we're almost 2 minutes into this overtime. The only team to score.
And another costly foul for the Braves.
That's Fiore's fifth foul as he'll be coming out of the game.
Now into the game is Daniel Harder.
So it's a three-point game. Wyoming has 2 shots at the foul line. The players will rest on the first one. With 2:10 left here in the overtime. 4-point game.
Well, I think the Braves are really kicking themselves right here because we saw earlier in the third period that they had a 13-point lead, and they let that get away from them. When that happens, it is just devastating.
Heidel in, and again, another missed shot. So Coach Burke quickly calls a timeout to save the possession arrow. So Mark, the Braves have been plagued in the fourth quarter and into this overtime by a little bit of what was going on in the first half. Their best quarter was by far the third quarter. If they can string 4 quarters together like their third quarter, I don't know that there's anybody in this league that can beat them.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's part of the biggest part of any sports team is when you get consistency together, because teams go on hot streaks, but when you can get people playing consistently so you know what you have to work with day in and day out, that is the makings of a good football team or basketball team.
Either one. It could be a lacrosse team, could be a volleyball team.
Absolutely.
But you know, Coach Birch has been working for the last several years of trying to put a system in place. We're seeing that system start to materialize in younger players, and the Braves just have not played consistently all year. You know, they failed to put 4 good quarters together in a row.
Yes, and I think that system you were just talking about has really been developed over the past couple of years very well. You know, we're seeing less and less students from middle school, athletic talent, being lost to schools like St. X and Moeller, because kids are really seeing that they have an opportunity to really play here.
Heidel up with a shot, and he hits a 3, so it's a 2-point game very quickly here. The Braves need to stop the ball here. Wyoming swings it down to their left side of the court. Number 12's dribbling the ball. They're going to try to eat a lot of this clock up.
Absolutely.
Schneider was calling for a count as Wyoming did not penetrate the... Heidel tries for the steal and knocks it out of bounds. So it's going to be Wyoming ball out of bounds.
Yeah, it's tough right here for the Braves. You can't really foul them because if you give up any more points, this game will be out of your reach pretty easily.
Reed covering the inbounds. Wyoming puts it in the backcourt. Colin Shaw taking on number 4 as they come across. Schneider on number 12 up at the top. Number 12 drives, dishes it. Wyoming's going to go for the win here. As Nick Heidel draws his 4th foul. 3rd foul. And they'll be at the line shooting too as they're in the double bonus now.
These next 2 shots are very critical.
We're at a 3-point game.
1 more shot and this will be a 2-possession game.
And that ball is missed. Timeout, Wyoming. That was a huge rebound for Wyoming. They're going to force the Braves to foul them. That's the only thing the Braves can do. They're going to have to foul, which is going to put Wyoming on the line for 2 shots every single time now.
And as we've seen previously in the game, Wyoming is not making mistakes on their foul shots, so it's going to be tough for the Braves to pull out a win in this one. But it's been a well-fought battle, and whichever way it goes, I think they can go home knowing that they did all they could do and they left it all on the court.
Yeah, effort's not been the issue tonight, Mark. The issue has been turnovers and lack of periods of time where there was lack of offensive productivity, having multiple chances. It'll be interesting to see the scorebook because I still believe Indian Hill is winning the rebound battle. They just are not converting into second points. And several costly turnovers in the fourth quarter, which allowed Wyoming back into this game. Number 12 is going to go in, and he misses the shot. They maintain Wyoming's ball. The Braves are playing very aggressive, and I like that. They are not giving up. There's 32 seconds left in this game, and the Braves are not going down without a fight.
Wyoming trying to milk the clock.
Come on, that should be a travel.
Extremely questionable call for this ref.
His foot clearly slid at least 2.5 feet across the court after he stopped dribbling.
No, agreed. It was blatant.
So we've got 23 seconds left. It'll be Wyoming ball underneath their own basket. The Braves have been doing a great job defensively. They just can't get breaks on calls. But at the end of the day, Mark, you know, we can talk about the missed calls, we can talk about the bad calls. At the end of the day, the Braves were up 14 points, had all the momentum in their favor going into the fourth quarter, and they just kind of fell apart.
And that'll happen in every game. You have teams that get their hot streaks at different times, and you know, typically you try to get your hot streak at the end of the game, but that just did not happen for this Braves team.
Now the Braves were down at the first quarter. They came back in the second quarter to go into halftime with a very close game, and then they pulled it away. As Wyoming gets the ball, the Braves have to foul early here.
And that was a big opportunity ball for Colin Shaw, but he just whiffs.
And Austin Schneider wraps him up with 6 seconds left. The Braves are trying to get fouls, and they're not calling them. I mean, you know, with 20 seconds left in this game, they fouled him in the backcourt, and the ref standing right there just looks and doesn't call a foul. Coach Birch is talking to the head official about the two other officials, and it's been very clear who has not made good calls tonight. And Coach Birch is not happy at all. His guys are trying to foul, they won't call the fouls. They're not trying to foul, they call the foul. So up next for the Braves, Mark, is who do we have next on our schedule? I didn't print the schedule out.
I guess we'll just have to find out next week.
Stay tuned. Some 2014 and 2013 graduates here at the game. Jimmy Salamini comes into the game. Sammy Casson, who will be attending the University of Toledo to play football next year, representing the Braves at the Division I level. It's a three-point game.
And I think that will put this one out of reach for the Braves.
As Heidel goes up for a three, and it's missed. And this game will be over. So the Braves end up losing this game 55-52, Mark. Tough loss for the Braves. We'll see Wyoming again later on in the season at Wyoming. They'll need to win that game if they have any hopes of winning the championship.
Yeah, absolutely, and that'll be a tough game for them playing at Wyoming with their home field advantage. It's a big student section there, and they're always pretty rowdy. When we go over there, they give us a hard time, and you know, this is a well-fought battle, but one team came out on top. Couldn't go the Braves' way, but that'll happen to you. Just got to come back next week, try it again.
You know, next game, I'm sure Coach Birch is going to be working on a couple things. One is making better decisions with the ball, not turning it over so much, finishing on second chance opportunities, and having a higher percentage shots from the field. You know, they had a hot streak hitting threes from outside, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to find out that the shooting percentage for the Braves, even in the paint, was probably under 50% tonight.
Absolutely, and you just can't let that happen. You have to convert on at least 60% of all of your turnovers and rebounds, and we just could not see any of that today with the Braves.
Well, Mark, I'm Rob Young. This is Mark Toller for the Indian Hill Television Network, bringing you Braves basketball on a Friday night. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the next game here at Braves High School.
Signing off.
Exclusive coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network has been a copyrighted presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department.